Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Tone Talk with Mark Uzansky and Dave Freeman. Am I lit up on a cannon?
You're like yelling into the mic.
Hey! Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm a little.
We like it.
I'm a little amped. I'm amped up. I'm just speaking
You
of
get back
amps.
from your vacation and you're like relaxed and like
Yeah, exactly. I'm very relaxed.
Yeah.
Although I did have to travel this week, though, so that kind of sucked.
Okay.
I had to go to Connecticut, but I haven't slept in my bed for like 2 weeks, pretty much. But we've got Jim Gaustad on. What's going on?
Just happy to be back, gentlemen. Good to see you guys. We're going to discuss.
Okay, now you got to trim your mic back a little bit because I think it's clipping.
Who?
You?
Me?
Yeah, you're screaming into it, so I think it's clipping.
You're killing me.
He's excited to be here. Yes.
No, it's fine.
I haven't been on for a few weeks. Okay, what do you want me to do here? Back it off. Okay.
I don't know. You might be clipping it just a little.
All right. How's that?
I kind of like that digital clipping, though. It's
What's going on? All right, we're back. Okay, is that better?
Now you seem low.
yeah. Now you're too quiet. Maybe a limiter.
Something's
Maybe
weird.
a limiter.
It's funny taking the echo cancellation off. Something's weird.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. All right. Well, I could always put it on, but we're going to be sitting here. We're going to be sitting here futzing with it for like 5 minutes. So
That's
I don't
fine.
want to do that.
I think we're okay.
Okay. So Jim Gaustad is here. Jim is the guru of tone master of all things Brown sound, Eddie Van Halen, and I love talking with Jim because we get really geeky. We get right into the weeds of everything, and we go down the rabbit hole. And he was on, and we spent several hours talking about it last time, and he had this up his sleeve the whole time, probably.
Cat again.
Hey, little cat.
Right on cue.
Right on cue. Of course.
She's drinking my whiskey right now. Okay.
Speaking of that.
Down we go.
So IK Multimedia has come out with this amazing pack with Jim called the 7879 Brown Sound through the Tonex pedal and the Tonex software. And IK Multimedia is also sponsoring the show we have several prizes that we'll be giving away tonight. Actually, we've amped it up by 2. So we have 1 grand prize winner who is going to win a pedal, the 7879 Brown Sound software, and a bonus, the Sunset Sound Plate Reverb software package. You will get all 3 of those things for the ultimate Brown Sound package. Okay. And then 3 other winners will get software for the 7879 Brown Sound. All right. That's how we're going to do it. I'll be getting the winners at some point soon. Dina just sent it to me, so we've got it. So we'll be announcing that at some point during the show. Okay. And yeah, I want to thank Chris O'Hara also from IK Multimedia. Cheers to you, man. Thanks for sponsoring the show with the prizes for our guests. I mean, for the viewers who are watching the show. So hopefully I'm not like too loud for everybody.
No, you sound good now.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Hey, we got Andy Wood in here. What's up,
Yeah.
Andy?
Hey, Andy.
Hey, Andy.
I guess I'm going to be seeing you down in Tennessee in September there.
Oh yeah. What's he doing?
Going to his guitar camp
Oh yeah.
that he does. Yes.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. That's
Guitar Woodshed or
right.
Woodshed Experience. Thank you. There we go.
Andy is an amazing player, like incredible player.
Absolutely.
I actually was very sad that I was not able to make it down. He was in Miami at Miami Guitars, probably maybe a month ago, and I just couldn't make it for whatever reason. There was something going on, and it's actually a really far drive for me. I would have loved to have seen it, Andy. It looked like a cool thing. So, all right, let's get into it. I'm so psyched for this because I think the software sounds amazing, along with the pedal. Jim, when did you get involved with IK Multimedia? I mean, Has it been like a over a year process?
Has been, yeah. So I want to say it was a year ago, this January, a year ago, February, Chris O'Hara reached out to me and asked me how I felt about, well, first he said, you know who IK Multimedia is? I said, yeah, I've got the Sunset Sound reverb and I love it. And he said, great. So are you familiar with Tonex? And I said, no. And he goes, you like amp? You're familiar with amp modeling? And I said, I hate it. I think it sucks. It's not a good thing. I've never played a good one. I played the Kempers and all that sort of thing, and they didn't have the feel. And he was persuasive and a pretty nice guy. And he finally, at the end of the conversation, he said something to the effect of, well, would you at least give it a listen? Would you at least try it? So I agreed to it. So my first foray into the amp modeling world, this one was better. It sounded better. It was more responsive. It felt a little bit better under your hands. So I acquiesced and I said, yeah, well, let's do this. But it was a different way of doing it. So we set out from the start not to do just a straight up amp capture, capture the cabinet in the room kind of thing, because everybody does that. So we said, let's set out to do the actual album tones, so you can add in a box essentially. So that whole process evolved through that. It took me a long time to figure it out. As I like to say, I kicked a few rabbit families out because I was living in the rabbit hole at this point. So I evicted a bunch of different rabbit families. But it was an interesting journey. I discovered some things. I thought I had a pretty good handle on everything, but in doing this, since I wanted it to be really good, I mean, I was putting my name on it. I just wanted it to be really good. One of the reasons it took forever is I couldn't figure a few things out, not about Tonex, but about that actual Van Halen 1 guitar sound. Because I mean, I've been close for a long time, but there's certain character about that, certain harmonic content that I couldn't get. So it was thousands of hours, thousands of captures, thousands of recordings. And it's like, oh my God, am I ever going to get there? So it's been quite a journey. And I don't know how much you guys have seen about it or if you've watched any of my YouTube stuff where I've talked about it, but this is where I want to talk to Dave and say,
oh,
and so, all right. So it came down. So as I was struggling and what I was struggling with, you can EQ it. You can make it sound like the album. You can get that same tonal quality. That's actually fairly simple. I was using all the analog stuff. I got my old analog console behind it and paid attention to as many details as we could and keep it as analog as possible. But what was driving me nuts was the character of the distortion. There's a certain character of that, certain harmonic content of what the guitar sounds like on Van Halen 1. And I think that's what everybody has always fought with, because it doesn't sound like a Plexi. It doesn't sound like a Marshall. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. It sounds like, as on your show, Asi Hassan said it, he goes, the amp sounds like it's broken. And that's when it triggered in my head. I was watching that when I said, you know what?
Take out two tubes. Take out the tubes.
And so I thought about it, when I was a younger guy playing smaller venues, I always had super leads. I always had 4-holers, and we all know how loud they are. So I would pull 3 tubes out. I'd do gigs with 1 output tube in the amp, and you get this really nasty, strange sound. I mean, heavy, big distorted guitar sound, and it was kind of cool. And then when you guys had Ozzy on and he said that, it clicked. The light bulb kind of went off, and I said, I'm going to pull 2 tubes, and I'm not going to pull 2 tubes, 2 outside or the 2 inside. I'm going to pull 4 and 5. And the minute I did that in the room, it was perfect.
It's funny you say that, because when I saw you mention this, somewhere online at some point in time here recently, I'm like, going, that's interesting. What if I do that right now? So I actually looked at it. I pulled the 2 tubes and looked at it in the scope, which I knew what it was going to be. It was half wave,
Right.
It's just the upper half of the wave. And I took a listen and played with the Variac a little bit, just, listening to the overall character. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. on the amp that I did it on, it seemed a smidge loose sounding, but then again, I didn't have everything right, because the Ed thing is all about everything,
Right.
as well as
Yep.
So the gauge of strings you're using is a huge thing.
Yep.
9 to 40. The 40 is a huge thing because the skinnier string is less bass, it's tighter, it's less farty. It has a tighter character to it. That alone is a huge thing. And then of course, there's the whole pickup rabbit hole, which I just saw your other guy video that about the super distortion.
I didn't get it. We'll talk about that too.
The whole 9 yards. But I'm waiting to see the results of that.
Yeah.
Which I do believe you're totally on the right track with all that. Because he did say exactly what you said.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, with me knowing Ed, I know that he did anything and everything to make it how he wanted it, or to try it at least. And some of his ideas, let's just put it this way, might sound stupid even, but generally speaking, my experience with him is they always kind of work.
Yeah.
And if there's a knob, he's going to turn it all the way up. And just, this is how it always looking for more and more out of something.
Yeah.
So I totally, at any point in time, there could be a myriad of pickups in a guitar. I've seen piles of pickups and stuff. Yep. So this is not one day it might be that pickup, the next day it might be that, but that one day they might have recorded the record with it.
Right.
So
exactly.
It's like, and also he said he didn't care for Van Halen 1's sound on record, and that he wasn't, whatever it was, he wasn't going to do that setup again.
Well, I think, don't you think it was the whole separation? He didn't like that. He went over.
No. He didn't like the sound.
He didn't like the guitar tone. Yeah.
He thought it was too bright.
Did you see the part about the quote though, about the Ted Templeman quote that was in? So I said that in one of these videos, one of these explanation videos I've done since this package got released, the Tonex package got released, that I heard somewhere there was this quote bouncing around that I thought it was Ted Templeman that around the recording of Van Halen 1, Ted said that Ed told him, "I know what tubes to pull to make the amp sound angry."
Like
a chainsaw. A guy found that for me. It's in the Bay Area Music 1981. I think it was the October 1981 issue of Bay Area Music. I forget the author's name, the interviewer's name, but he's kind of a famous, Bay Area interviewer, maybe bigger than the Bay Area. But sure enough, that quote exists from Ted Templeman. It was the Ted Templeman interview. So I thought, and it all started to come together between that and the Aussie interview with you guys, and the amp, the amp broken, and then my history of playing with these things. And as soon as I did that in the room, it was like, holy crap, that is it.
And what it actually could have possibly have been also is the fact that the amp was broken.
Yeah,
because you never ever later see any amps without 4 tubes.
True, but to me, that's why it sounds like a Plexi for the rest of the. It's a nice sounding amplifier. The way they recorded it was.
Well, it's a great amplifier,
right.
And it has an exorbitant amount of gain to it. Like on the scope of a Plexi, and that has to do with the era amp it is. That era amp has a certain plate voltage that's hovering around 460, 465 somewhere at with
Wall-
normal
wall-
wall voltage,
wall
you know,
voltage,
normal wall voltage. And there's something about that number and setting it up with all the specs that, you know, you already have done with yours and all the specs that we've talked about before.
Yeah.
And there's something about doing that on that kind of era amp. There's a compression and a gain that's kind of crazy. And I did a duplicate amp for him, another old amp that's close to his serial number. And I put the same stuff in it, and I got it sounding identical. I was amp switching between the two. And it's quite gainy.
Yeah.
I mean, more so than most, but you only get that kind of gain really on that old 68 laydown transformer kind of amp. It has to do with the voltages.
Mine's obnoxious. I mean, it is. Sometimes it feels like it's too much gain.
Yeah. It's good. And, you know, and I still think for me, I still think Van Halen 2 is my favorite album in general for his guitar tone and everything. And I think that record was the best sounds for everyone. I think the best bass sound, the best drum sound, the best everything of all the records.
Yeah.
As a whole, I think it's the best sounding record.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And the fact that they did it faster than Van Halen 1, I think that was the fastest one they recorded. Maybe.
Yeah. But knowing them, you know, and knowing even what Alex liked in a drum sound and stuff, they got that in Van Halen too.
Yeah.
Because he wanted like to be, you know, it's like he wants, you know, no bass in the kick drum and very like old school 70s, like not.
Oh yeah, listen to Out of Love Again or
like
drums on
smoking drum track.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. But Two Tubes, I did try it and it did sound cool. But I did play, at least the amp is a 69. It wasn't maybe exactly what it would be if it was the lay down and everything, but it gave me the idea of how it sounds. And then really, if you pull those Two Tubes, we really have no concept of what the bias was either.
No, and the way
it could have been anywhere.
Yeah, I know. And the way I've got mine set up is I've got the 47K stock bias resistor in there.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, I don't know if it's tubes these days or whatever, but I've had to run a 33K to get enough bias. But I put the 47K back in and just maxed the pot. Pulled 2 tubes.
Yeah, but I mean, like you could literally pull the 2 tubes and set the variac how you want it. Let's say you set it at 90. And then you could play with the bias and find the spot where it sounds the best, to be honest.
Yeah.
And that could be a wide range.
I used to have the knob right on the back panel of the amp, so I didn't have to open it up. I just turned.
I like that you were able to, you know, go to the even lower voltages on the variac to get those tones, because when I was messing with a variac, you know, because when you first get a variac, you're like, oh fuck, let me go down real low. Let's see how low we can go on this thing before it shuts off.
Yeah.
About 65.
Yeah, right.
I've got one that goes to 59. I've got an
well, that's lucky. Most of them shut off around 60.
Yeah.
At 59, it's maybe.
I didn't say it sounded good. It's still running though.
You know, but maybe it might just start fading away.
Yeah.
Generally, like a little above 60, 65 or something is the spot that's about as low you're going to get.
Yeah. But I can see how he even, you know, although people are like 89, 90 was
that's the Friedman story. That's Dave's responsible for that story.
Is he?
Yeah, that's the way I understand it.
What, 89 or 90?
Yeah, because didn't the 50?
Ed used it at 89 or 90. He even said that.
Yeah, I'm sure he did in a larger venue. But when he's playing the whiskey.
Well, to be honest, I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily true because, I mean, yes, he probably was turning it down some, but and he said that he turned his cabinets to face the wall before too.
Yeah.
But I mean, I saw Jakey Lee play at the whiskey with 100-watt full tilt on 10, and guess what? It was fine.
No, I know, but it's absurd. I mean,
it is absurd.
It's
really great.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so friggin' loud. But I mean, so one of the things that you listen to too, though, are those the room mics, those YouTube videos that have come out with the room mics for the recording of Van Halen 1. There's the eruption one, obviously. Then there's the Jamie's Crying one that I think Alan just sent it to me, Alan Garber. And there's not a whole lot. I don't know. You can't gobo that much. We've all seen that picture of the studio. You got 412 facing where the room mics are probably sitting, and the SVT box is sitting facing at, it looks like, or close to that. And the drum kit's not far behind, and you see a couple of gobos there, but there's not much spill when you listen to the raw drum track. So if you've got running a super lead at 90 volts in that room, the mix is pretty even in there. It sounds, especially on Jamie's Crying, it sounds like a good, nice, even mix. 90 volts wouldn't sound like that. You would barely hear the drummer. I don't know. I play with a drummer that pounds the hell out of them. So a stage level for me to make a nice mix on stage is running the Varia right around 78 volts. And that's a good mix for my amp. I know every amp is different too.
Yeah.
So,
who knows?
No, I know.
That's the mystery, that's the whole mystery. And you know what else was also said to me before? In fact, Jakey Lee said this to me. He goes, Ed used to set his amp on 220 and then turn up the Variac.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So
I wonder if that's where the 140 volt story actually came from.
It could very well be.
Yeah, I've always thought that. So you set that on 220, turn up to 140. It's like you're running at about 70 volts, 65, 70 volts, right? I mean,
yeah, you see in this picture the way that they're goboed off, though, that all the amps are in front of the drums.
Yeah, where
blowing out. Yeah, who knows where the room mics are, to be honest.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily just mic spill on the drum mics, but just the overall mix in the room sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty balanced. In fact, the loudest thing in the room to me is the bass rig. So I just, again, like I always say, I always start all my things off. This is speculation.
Of course.
It's theory.
Yeah. Exactly. I use my ears and try to dial it as close as I can. But the reason I do that, there's the 2-tube thing was it for me, because there's always been so much speculation about the EQ in front of the amp, the dummy load rig, slave rig. It's like,
which he did use live at various points in his career, because there's even like footage from Day at the Green and stuff where you see his amp side stage, his Marshall, and then there's 4 Music Mans below it.
Yeah.
Well, they certainly weren't making the tone.
No. So he's slaving them.
Yeah. So he's using those as power amps, so to speak.
Right. But I think a lot of people, the younger guys that are exploring this, don't understand the difference between slaving and loading.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the slaving is what we did in the 70s. That's how you would make your stuff louder, or spread it out, run more speaker cabinets. But dummy loading is a different animal entirely.
Yeah, and who knows? But there's also an article that where Ed was talking about his rig setup, right? And he described it as, I use a combination of 2 amplifiers. One is actually lower powered than the other, and there's these things that look like sticks of dynamite that are attached to the fuse holder. Well, no, that's a stick of dynamite. It's a load resistor plugged into the speaker jack, not the thing. And there's that. I mean, that was said, so that probably is true.
Oh, and I don't disagree with that either. I've got one. I've got an old a Dale 250 watt 20 ohm resistor. Plug it in parallel or in the speaker jack, one of the spare speaker jacks, and you knock a few dB off the amp. And you still run.
It could be that way, or it could be slaved in some fashion.
True.
Who knows?
True. But
we don't really know.
I'm just saying in the creation of these tones, for the Tonex package, I tried everything. I bet you did. I put my 66 Fender Bassman. I ran that into the input from a load box. I reversed that. I pulled the output tubes out of the Fender basement and just ran into the input of the Marshall. I did the GE10. I did the Boss 6 band. You know, everything that's ever been talked about, I did. And my theory, or the way I think, is always, if I start getting too out there with ideas and theories, that I'm probably taking it too far. So I'll keep it simple, especially on the early stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way I regulate it. But
I think you're.
He always said. Go ahead.
I was going to say the theory sounds correct, that the amp was probably for the first album, it probably hadn't been serviced quite well, and might have been fucked up already. You know, so. But it sounds great. It still sounds great. That's the thing.
I know. He hated it. So go figure. But right. Dave, tell us what happens to the amp. Is it safe to run the amp that way?
I mean, it's safe. I mean, it's technically sort of broken, but it's safe. I mean, I don't think anything's going to happen. You know, the funny thing is when you said that too, and then I remembered there was a point in time in later years, in the PV years, right, where he would pull one power tube out because he liked the sound. And so I tested that theory, and I just wanted to see, well, if I pull one power tube out, what does it look like on the scope versus pulling two out on the scope?
Right.
And it to be honest, it's sort of like halfway in between the two. That's what happens.
So so the sine wave looks.
So the sine wave on the top looks fine, but on the bottom it's squared off. It's flat. With putting three tubes in, it has a little bit of a curve, but it's still kind of fucked up.
Yeah. You know, and that's what I find too when you record. You know, it's when you've got the amp running full out, or even if you're backing it off a hair and letting the bright cap kick in a little bit, there's so much cabinet thump when you've got all four tubes in the amp. When you pull the two tubes, you don't have to high pass anything. You don't have to try to notch that 240 hertz, 200 hertz, 160. You don't have to try to notch that stuff out of there. So when you play, you know, when you do like the pedal tone on "I'm the One," you're just kind of that light mute on the A string.
Right.
The volume balance that you get when you're actually playing that, and you're playing the accent notes on the D string, you're playing the A and the G going back and forth while you're pedaling the A, the open A. That's the test that I always give it, because if you've got that, for me, if you've got that full sine wave going, if you got all the tubes in, it's hard to get that. You got to fix it so much in the mix. But that was the test I did. So as soon as I pulled the tubes, that was the first riff that I played. And I went, holy shit, that's it. That's the deal. Because the balance was perfect, because so much bottom end came out of the amp.
Interesting.
You know, the funny thing too, you're talking about that. There was some EQ tricks that he did on the console, that he would pull out some low mids.
Yeah.
On stuff, because he didn't like. He called it, I don't like mid range. I was like, but I don't know if that's really mid range. Okay.
It was right around 700, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I find. It's right around. It's between 700 and 800 hertz. But then when you actually take a spectrum analyzer on the sound, there's a big bump at 800 hertz. But you're taking it out of the mix, so the amp is producing that, and he's adjusting that out. So it's a strange dichotomy, I guess.
Hey, you know what? Let's do our sponsors before we get too deep. First of all, everybody, make sure you press subscribe and click the bell. All right. I don't know what the percentage is, but I can guess that it's probably half of you aren't subscribed. So please press subscribe, click the bell so you get the notifications, click the thumbs up. And also, check out Sweetwater. We have a link below. It's our affiliate link. If you use that to purchase anything, it gives the show a little kickback, helps us keep, and maintain doing the show. Also, fixpedalboards.com. Check them out. Dave, you want to say your little...
Yeah, for all your little metal pedal board lifts and little lifters and bridges and all your fun stuff that you need for your pedal board, including some interface boxes. And hey, if you're building a man cave rack with pedals in it, They got some great sliding shelves too.
Cool. Fixedpedalboards.com. What's up, Tim? Thomann.com for our friends outside the U.S. Or if you're in the U.S. you want to buy something from
You can
Thomann.
go buy a Tonex at Thomann Music.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and definitely check out Tonex. Check out the, as a matter of fact, I want to share the screen right now on that. Because I even love the whole graphic on this. Now now
You did a great job with this.
yeah, I did. Now I mean, has anybody heard from the Van Halen camp on this at all or anything like that?
No, but if you watch the video, we've been fairly careful about,
Yeah.
doing.
Well, yes, very careful.
Yeah,
I did. I talked to Matt actually today.
what did he have to say?
He loves you.
Does he?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
He loves you. Yeah, I don't know if he's overwhelmingly super happy, but like, yeah, he loves it, but he has no problems with you.
That's cool.
He goes, the amount of effort and stuff that you've done, is amazing.
Does he ever give any inside hints, for God's sakes? Can he help a guy?
There is no
out?
inside hint. I know as much as he's done. He's been my friend. He's been my friend for a million years.
It's like, help a guy out, man. And my quest.
I'd love to have Matt on the show if he would.
I
ever
know.
come on.
I've been working on that for a long time.
Yeah, have him and Wolfie on the show, but
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well,
Yeah.
Wolfie, we should be able to get when he starts doing promo for the new record that'll be coming out.
yeah, his PR guy said that,
That's what he said. We better follow up with that.
Well, we will. So this package really, I mean, Jim, you just did such a great job with it, along with IK Multimedia for the Tonex pedal.
There's cute little things on there. If you look at the interface and you look at the graphics that they've got, that they did. So the 78, it says it 1978 on the Plexi panel.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you pay attention to the amp piping for the 78 collection, part of the collection, it's white piping on the amp. If you take a look at the 79 collection, it says 1979 on the Plexi panel, and then there's yellow piping. And then the women and children first, and fair warning. I think we're going to go with the red piping on the amp.
Cool.
Just little subtle things like that. They were thinking, so they did a great job on it.
No, it's super cool. Cool.
So you said something about that your white and black guitar that where you did the 57 classic neck with the short 8.5 magnet from Rewind, and it's funny. I've always liked 57 classics.
Yeah. I
used to use them a million years ago, and even the standard bridge one I like. It's a great pickup. Even it's standard stock. I think it's a great pickup. I always kind of like the A2 in it. But you said something interesting that I theorized for a long time, is that you put a 250K pot in it.
Yeah, I did, and that's why I did that on the first fair warning thing I did too. But to me, it's if you believe what you read, if you believe the history, if there's some truth to the history, it always comes back to that 61 335, right? Where the PA came out of 61 335. In 61, everything had a short A5 in it. Gibson standardized everything to match what the P90 was across the whole P90s and humbuckers and everything. So that original pickup more than likely had the short A5, and you know what PAFs were wound to back in those days. They were, an 8K PAF was a hot PAF.
Yeah.
So on average, I'm thinking, so mine is 7.625.
Mm-hmm.
Got that short A5 in it, and the 250K pot is just the icing on the cake. That's the whole combination to me. That guitar sounds fantastic for what it's supposed to do for that era.
I always theorized, because he was such a tinkerer, that anything that was just laying around, he would put it together.
Yeah.
So my thought was, I don't think there was any thought to whether it was a 500K or 250K pot. There's a volume pot. Let me grab it.
Right.
Put it in.
Yeah.
Who knows? And every guitar he had, who knows
Yeah.
what was actually in it, till maybe later when, he had guitars made and stuff. But so that's funny. I have a guitar sitting here at the shop I did the same thing with. I mean, not that pickup, but I'm going to do that actually. Because I have to now. I have to now. So now I got to get a neck version of the fucking 57 Classic. I got a bridge version.
I'll send you one. I got a bunch of them. I got a bucket full of them.
Oh, okay. Send me one then. I'll take it. I'll get the A5 magnet from our buddy over at Rewind.
Yeah, I got to check the inventory. I don't know if I've got anything that low. I might have one lower. I might have a 7.5. I got to double check, but I'll let you know if I've got them from like 7.9 to 8.1 and 7.5. I'll just look through the inventory, see what we got.
Whatever. I mean, like it's close enough. I mean, 7.7, 7.8, something. It's fine.
All right. I'll see.
That'll be close enough. I mean, I have a standard bridge one here, but that's like 8.
Yeah, they're 8 or 8.2,
8.3 or something. Yeah. And
so when do we want to announce the winners?
I don't know. Now?
I don't know. When do you want to do it?
Let's wait a little bit. People got to watch.
Okay. All right.
You got to watch to know if you win.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Cool.
So, I know you sent me an email about the magnet, the Rewind electric magnet. That video today, that Paul McKeever video, the guy up in Canada building me that new pickup. I ordered 2 of those short A5s from Rewind, and I have been searching high and low. I couldn't find the second one because I wanted to screw around with one of the EVH Frankenstein pickups and put that because there was a really good magnet. And that's what I've got in the black and white striped one, and I had forgotten where I put that magnet, inserted that magnet in. I was watching Paul's video taking apart my Super Distortion, and there it was. It says RWA5 on it, right on the side of the magnet. I said, I'll be damned, there's that other Rewind electric magnet. It's like, I think I tinker too much. I think I lose track of what I do. So just an interesting story on the side.
Wait, wasn't that magnet though in the video long?
No, it's short.
That was a short one?
Okay. If you look at it, it goes as far as the 2 poles.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, I quickly skimmed through the video a little bit.
Yeah, it was intense. There was a lot of information in there.
Yeah, but I understood it all. I mean, I thought it was cool. I mean, I thought hypothetically this is something fun. Sure.
Yeah.
Because definitely Fair Warning's a different pickup.
Yep. Completely.
It's a different fucking pickup.
I had theorized that it was a prototype JB wind, but that's close, but it's not quite right with the asymmetric coils, like the early JBs, late 70s winds that he was doing for the celebrities. So I thought that was it, but it just doesn't quite get it. So when I tried my Super Distortion with the A5 in it, the minute I started playing like the Fair Warning stuff, it was like, again, that it just, how it is when it gets easy. You start to say, okay, the harmonics jump. I'm not fighting the low end. It's not too spiky anywhere. It's just got that perfect thing. And you just go, God, this is awfully close to what it should be. Go ahead.
What about the Super 80 pickup?
The Super 80s to me they're too hot. That was the Ibanez. You're talking about after the Super 70, right?
Yeah.
Like that came in the Artist, I think, the open coil Artist. That's the first time I remember them. I've got a pair of them in the bucket.
So you think he was using the Super 70s? You think?
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. To me, there's no question about that. Only on the first album, and I shouldn't say it. On Women and Children first too. But that's the theory when he got the Holmes Destroyer back. That Chris Holmes has said that he took Chris Holmes had the PAFs in it, but he took them out because he was afraid Ed was going to steal them. So that's
we hope we're trying to get Chris Holmes on the show.
That would be great. That would be great to corroborate.
Because I think this is going to be a hoot of a time for this one. I think it's going to be freaking amazing. I want to ask him all this shit.
Yeah, you need to. I would.
Because he used to loan Ed cabinets and stuff and everything.
You know the story about the peeled cabinets, right? And the reason for peeling the Tonex off the cabinets, at least the story I've heard.
Refresh my memory.
They're all stolen.
Oh, could be.
And there was like a community batch of these peeled cabinets, and somehow they ended up mostly with Ed. That's the story I've heard.
The peeled cabinets do sound different.
Yeah, I've got one in the collection. I did my JBL, the D120 greenback combo cabinet is a peeled box.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this for a second. So the names of the patches are not really the names that you came up with when you were coming up with each of the different patches. Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, it's caused some confusion too. The names, like you'll see things like into the flame or into flames and volcano, and these loose references or plays on words for the actual song titles. I developed this collection as a more like a tone chaser, utilitarian kind of thing where it's laid out logically. So the idea behind it was we had 4 speaker cabinets. I had my JBL D120 greenback cabinet. I had a 20-watt greenback cabinet, a 25-watt blackback cabinet. What am I missing? That's it. That was 4 cabinets, right? JBL, greenback, yeah. And then 2 Variac settings for each. On the Van Halen on the 78 portion. So I did was it 78 volts and 89 volts. So each one of those cabinets got a 78 volt and an 89 volt capture. So you've got those variations within there because you can feel the difference and you can hear the difference.
Can you see these?
Yeah, somewhat.
So it's hard.
I'm blind though, so.
What's Chasing Dreams? What's that? So if you can download the actual list of my original names, then it'll start to make sense for you if you really want to go down there and figure out what I was doing. But there is a logic behind it. So each of the 4 speaker cabinets got the 2 Variac settings. And then I did a hot setting. And I did the hot setting by goosing the console, the channel inputs on the console, and keeping the levels at the same level, but running the console into the red. So pushing the pre's in the console. So that's how the hot version came out. So that's all part of it. And then for each cabinet, you got a room capture and a raw capture. And the raw capture is no post EQ. So you're just hearing the cabinet. So what we did not include is just a straight up amp capture. We are going to do that in the next edition, in the Women and Children.
That'd be cool, because the first thing that Pete Thorne said when he was trying them out was like, it'd be really cool not to have the cabinet in here, and I could use this as a preamp into an amp return or something. And he goes, I should have done that.
Well, and we made a conscious decision not to, because this was going to be Ed in the box.
Yeah, I get it,
but there was enough pushback, and and there's just a lot of guys out there that want to use their own IRs and that sort of thing. But it's I'm not going to EQ the amp in any way. I'm not going to change it. You're just going to hear what the amp sounds like, and you do with it what you want. That's the way it's going to be. So
makes sense.
So that will be included, and I will probably throw in the 2 tubes pulled so they can go back and get that. Or we'll offer that as some kind of free download or whatever for the 78, 79 collection. We haven't fleshed that whole idea out yet, but it will be available coming up.
Cool. Okay. That would make it very useful for a lot of people.
Yeah,
to do that.
So that'll just be like an update, firmware update, or something. Software
yeah,
update?
That's going to be a Chris O'Hara question, but he's supposed to be watching. Tell him to chime in. Chris, where the hell are you? How are we going to do that? So type
it in the chat.
Probably some sort of update or something.
Yeah, I don't know. That's above my pay grade. So I'm just making the tone models. I'm not actually doing that sort of it. So.
Braxel commented here. He goes, I'm just going to answer this because I saw it. Hopefully David will let us know what those head shells are all about right here. Those aren't head shells. Those are 8. See, there's 2 rows of 4 of Chris Shiflett's amps from the Foo Fighters.
I was going to guess.
So he has 8 BE100s here right now, along with his 2 racks and his all 4 pedal boards, and yeah. So
they're going on tour soon.
I'm just supposed to go through them all. I think I just went through them all not that long ago, and I'm sure they're fine. But hey, if you're asked to do it, you do it.
You do
Is
it.
that a
Yeah.
fawn?
I'm wondering.
No, that's ivory. That's an ivory
I'm
Tonex.
talking about the Marshall, not
The Marshall, yeah, up here in the up in the corner there, up here. Yeah, that's a fawn, just a 2203 JMP.
Yeah, and then looks like one with no Tolex on it.
Oh yeah, then there's a 69, which is what I pulled the 2 tubes on, which is with no Tolex on. I've had that amp for I don't know, forever. And it was sitting in my garage in pieces for years. And I mean real pieces. And I'm like, I got to restore this. It was missing transformers. It was all sorts. So I bought an old Marshall PA head and to steal the transformer out of. And it has a replaced power transformer, but that's not a big deal. But I stole the Plexi output transformer that was supposed to be in it. And I stole a bunch of parts out of the PA head too, like other mustard caps and all sorts of stuff, and resistors and all sorts of things. But now I got a PA head I got to do something with. So I'm going to do something cool with that, like a 3-channel amp or something that's crazy.
I had one of those way back when. That was a great sounding amp, an old PA head.
Yeah, but this is like the weird. Like square box looking
that big
head with a big
square thing,
metal face on the front, and it actually, I mean, it's all hand wired. It's like all a turret board and stuff, so it'll actually be really cool if I make it into something gnarly.
Yeah, very cool.
I'll get around to that in my spare time. Which, well, shit, that might never happen.
Yeah,
your retirement.
I mean, I have no spare. I mean, Jesus. My retirement. Never retiring. I'm going to drop dead on the bench.
No
All right, on that note, that's pleasant thought.
Just like boom, right on a Marshall.
Dave.
And then if whatever happened to me didn't kill me, the voltage from the amp will kill me.
Yeah, because your face will fall face first in you.
Exactly. So
that amp will be worth a lot of money.
I can't retire. I can't
amp.
I can't retire. I can't sit around. I can't.
No,
I have a hard enough time. I work 6 days a week, and I have a hard enough time on Sunday, 1 day a week off. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll go to the shop and work on that amp for a little while or something, or like, believe me, as obsessed as you were about getting these tones,
right?
And I applaud you at it. I get as obsessed about an individual amplifier that some guy has asked me for a certain kind of sound, and I will be like at nauseum trying to get this sound. And I swear to God, sometimes I think my ears are tricking me or something, or I'm like going, does this even sound good? I don't even know anymore.
And then gotta walk away.
Then I'm like, it all sounds fuzzy to me. I don't know. I don't. And then you like get a reference amp and you do an amp AB and you're like, okay, the reference amp sounds fuzzy too. Okay, it's just me.
You have to walk away. Your ears, you'll have something dialed in and you think you've got it dialed in. Record it, do whatever you do with it. You come back the next day, you listen to it. It's either, that's spot on, or God, what the hell was I thinking? That sounds like shit. It's horrible. Not even close. So that's tough. And we've, in doing these tone model, these amp captures for Tonex, we're trying out a new system for creating, so I don't have to do the whole AI rendering here in the studio that I send it to Italy, and the development team does it. So I do the capture and then they do the render. So we're trying out this new software, and it shows promise, but I swear you do one, you come back the next day, you think you got it dialed, you come back the next day, and then it sounds it sounds like crap again. So we got to.
I think your ears from day to day, your sinuses, your ears, they're all interconnected, and I think you're just like, some days everything sounds like shit. Yeah. Every pickup sounds like shit. The guitars sound like shit. Yeah. You're picking up different guitars in the room. Is it just me, or this the guitar I'm hating? You know, like. You know,
I hate those days. I hate those days.
And you're like, and I have a lot of guitars floating around here. You know, it's like all different kinds of pickups and stuff. And you're like, oh, okay,
time to go home.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's a tough world we live in. Our jobs are tough.
I know. It's what's such problems. So Jim, you really think that the JBL speakers were used?
I knew it was coming.
Or was it the Radio Shack speaker?
The Radio Shack.
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, you don't know. And that's,
we have pictures. There's pictures of it.
What we were just talking about. So some days all right. So when I released those two videos before we released Tonex, I did the Rabbit Hole 1 and Rabbit Hole 2, where I just sitting behind the console playing and I didn't say anything. And I played parts from Van Halen 1 on the first video, or I'm sorry, Van Halen 2 was the first video. Van Halen 1 was the second video. My favorite go-to up until that point was the Volcano 78 capture, which is a 78 volt Variac setting through my blackback cabinet, my mid-70s blackback cabinet. I thought that's been my go-to setting. But when I sat down to do that video, I used the JBL D120 cabinet with the greenback, the blended cabinet. And so that video, where I think it sounds killer, is the JBL cabinet.
And which one? What's the name on that one?
We got to pull that up here. I had it open here. Let me grab it here.
Yeah, just out of curiosity.
It's it's really hooked, 78 volt, really hooked 89 volt.
Here we go. So
here we go.
The delay might be a little loud.
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
Compare that to Volcano 78 volt, which is the blackbacks. And again, the changes are subtle, but when you're sitting there, in your studio or doing what you're doing with it, that's why I did so many. What kind of pickup is in that one, Mark? I know we talked about earlier. I forget.
It's like a replica of the Frankenstein that was slightly hotter.
Who made it?
Pariah.
So
is it the Pasadena White?
No, this is an older one that he made for me.
Oh,
I
like the Pasadena White.
Can you turn the gain back a little bit on the interface?
Yeah, absolutely. Go to the amp. Can you see this?
Turn it back to about 4 and try it. So it's not quite as full, and it's not quite as fuzzy and fizzy.
Right.
You get those mids to come out a little bit better. Now switch back to the really hook.
What's that?
Switch back to the really hook, the JBL ones. Really hook 78 volt. And then turn the gain back down. Turn the gain back down to 4.
There we go.
See, it opens up more. If you run too much gain with it, it gets too.
What's that?
Compressed. So remember, I created these with that 57 Classic as my baseline. So when I play with like a JB, and I tested it all with Super Distortion, JB, the EVH Frankenstein, I would run the gain down to like 3.5 on the higher output pickup, so it would sound closer to. And you might have to, bump the bass backwards a little bit down to 4.5, and turn the treble up a little bit because those pickups are a little bit darker. But I intentionally set them all up so the tone controls are all at noon and the gain is all at noon, so you can adjust for your different pickups.
So when they're superimposing some sort of EQ on the stuff, because it is a capture.
Yep.
It's a snapshot of your amplifier chain.
Yep.
Your whole everything chain.
Right.
It's nice that they do that well, Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. I was very pleased. So when I was going, because I was, I really wanted to have it so that people could use their, the guys could use their high output pickups. They could use their EVH guitars that come with a, really hot pickup in it. Yeah. But I had to have a bass line. I had to start somewhere. So I had to dial in the sound the way I heard it, the way I hear it on Van Halen 1 and Van Halen 2. So I wanted to do it as accurately as I possibly could.
Yeah, sure.
So that was the place to start, but it's fully adjustable, and that's what's really cool about it. And I see some of the guys doing the demos on YouTube, and I'm thankful. I love it. I'm glad everybody's doing that. But they should be aware. Turn the gain back a little bit. Then you'll get that, because I see some comments. Well, that doesn't sound anything like the album. That's, turn the gain back. The whole thing will open up, and you'll hear that the subtle mids that will bloom out of that.
You have to mess with the settings. So just for disclosure, for me playing through it, I'm playing through the pedal. We tried to hook up the actual software to go running through my UA. There's some kind of computer audio issue with running the software, the Tonex software with the Brown Sound package into the UA and going live. I can actually do it without going live. I can actually sit and play it all day on my computer and it's fine. But going live and doing a YouTube show, there's some kind of
there's a whole bunch of complicated stuff with the UA thing with that.
Yeah. I need like an external software package that'll kind of run OBS or whatever it is, and then you run something else.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Just put it in the pedal. It's fine.
Yeah,
so it's
just getting the DI track, not the actual affected track. The Tonex track was the DI going straight through the interface.
Yeah. So Andy Wood, I know you're watching. I saw your video, and that was definitely unfortunate you couldn't get that up and running. I think that's the key thing, and I think Chris is working on having that all sorted out, and probably figure out a way to get that going for Andy and probably for other people as well, and figure out a solution. But for right now, you can just use the pedal. So I've got the pedal running into my UA, and so you just can't see the Tonex actual software, but yeah, so you can hear it.
And that's the plate reverb. That's right there in the Tonex platform, right there in the thing, and the tape echo is actually right there too. And you can set them up pre or post.
Right.
So the tape echo is set pre input, and the reverb is set post.
Yeah. So we got the delay here. Oh, now we got a little echo here. Did you hear that?
It's gone now.
Maybe that was in my microphone. All right, it disappeared. So yeah, you can hear the delay, which is now pre, but you can put it post if you like. And I could probably
you can change it to a digital delay instead of the tape echo.
Yeah, exactly.
And there is a difference.
Yep. You could add modulation, comp. If you want to add a noise gate to it, you can. And definitely mess with the settings. So you go to the amp setting if you're in the editor, and then you can mess with the gain, all the settings. So to make it more custom to you for your ear, because it's not going to be perfect right out of the box. It'll be close, but you can.
Well, depending on what pickups you're using and stuff, it should be close.
Yeah.
And you've got a lot of choices for the speaker cabinets, and that all that was intentional, because nobody really knows. I mean, I assume it was the basket weave. Well, I shouldn't even say that. I was going to say it was the basket weave 20s, 20 watt, the originals, but it could have been.
Who knows? It could have been all of it.
It
Everything.
could've- yeah.
You could have had all the 70s cabinets, which are all black bags.
Yeah.
It could have been, who knows what were in those cabinets? It could have been anything at all.
Right. So that's why we offered everything.
And later on, I know for a fact, live, I know for a fact when they switched to those flag system cabinets and stuff, those were 65 watt speakers.
Right. And that's what I understand was used on Fair Warning.
Yeah.
And probably Diver Down. So I have a cabinet sitting here ready to go when I start doing the Fair Warning captures. It's got the G1265s.
I like the old 65s. I have one, well, it's buried behind all the amps, but I have two checkered 70s cabinets here that one has 65s in it.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got a cool sound. I mean, I've heard it's the most popular guitar speaker out there that's used the most in recording. I don't know where
it's kind of, I don't know if that's true, but it's kind of cool. To be honest, the old ones, they're kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree. So
I have a blackback cabinet and the 65 cabinet, and if you run them together, they're particularly cool.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
Just a nice blend of the two kind of vibes.
So I'm trying to decide for the women and children first. I'm in the middle of creating these tone models. I'm trying to decide which cabinets to use. If I'm going to offer all four again, because I think I'm sure it won't be the JBL. I doubt that the JBL is part of women and children first.
I don't think so.
We've seen that picture of them before or after, where the Chris Holmes guitar, it's the black and white photos where the Chris Holmes guitar is sitting leaning up against the cabinet. It's a slant cabinet.
Right.
It's a slant cabinet with a grill on it, so we can't. Well, no, it doesn't have the grill on it. It's got the small dust cap, so it's not 65s. Because the 65s have the big
dust cap. Yeah.
So it's got to be this black back or the 20 watt or greenbacks. I mean, I'll probably do 3 cabinets. I'm trying to figure it out. It's probably blackbacks, greenbacks, and 20 watt greenbacks is what I'll offer for that one.
It's a weird tone for women and children.
Yeah, it is. But it's.
I mean, it's the same. To be honest, it's all the same amp on all these records. But how it's recorded and the state of the amp at the time and what's being used, it's all comes into play,
Yeah, and that's the hard part about this is because I sit there and just listen, figure out the best way to do it, get my theories together, and then listen, record, listen, play, and do that, and just dial everything in and figure out what those variables probably were at the time. I mean, you know those amps, they have a sound, and how they feel in your hands. Everything is so you make judgments not with just your ears, but how the harmonics jump off the guitar. How all of that stuff is so part of it, and better than anybody. It's where's the bias? What's the tube complement in the amp? What's all of that stuff comes into play. So it is. It's a crapshoot. I'm rolling the dice.
No, it's sort of interesting.
They're coming really close.
I get all caught up in minutia when I'm working on amps and how it feels and the vibe and I mean, even if you're not doing a super lead crank, right? Even even like a gain circuit or something, how does it feel?
Yep.
You guys hearing an echo?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like a fucking ghost in the background. Devil.
I think it's my cat. What's going on?
Well, I can turn off the I can put the echo canceling back on once I stop playing.
Yeah, try that for a second.
Yeah, let's try it. But you're gonna just be prepared. You're gonna be louder.
I'll lower
maybe.
it.
Let's see.
It was before.
See what happens.
How's that?
Yeah, you're louder.
Am I?
Again, it's
everything
louder than everything else. That's what it is.
Check. Hello. Yeah, we still got
You still have the echo.
Yeah.
I'm not getting the echo here.
I hear it when I'm talking.
Yeah, I hear it on you.
You still there?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I just turned my speakers down, so that's not it. Kind of weird.
There's always something. Great.
Oh well, we'll go with it.
Okay. Well,
ignore our ghosts, people.
Yeah, I'm not hearing it over here. But I would say, as far as Tonex goes, go to the product page, IK Multimedia product page for the Brown Sound 78, 79 collection, and if you're not getting the correlation for the names, you can download the actual PDF of the original names and and you'll start to see the method to my madness and what I was up to. So if you think you want to try a 78-volt Variac setting with all 4 cabinets, you'll be able to see which ones those are. So you just go down the list and click in, and whatever that name correlates to that. So for each cabinet, you can do that. For each voltage setting, you can do that. So, and then the raw in the room. So that's the other thing too. I've seen some guys doing some demos where it's obvious it's the room capture. And they're trying to say this is too dark. Well, yeah, it's a room capture. You know, it doesn't sound right. So
right. Interesting. All right. Well, I'm probably going to turn off playing because I think it might actually be adding the. Well, now it's gone. I think.
I turned my speakers off and put my earbuds in.
But now you sound really different, though.
Yeah, now you sound different.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a minute.
And now there's a big latency or something.
Hold on.
See, that just auto leveled or something. It just
When you put the noise canceling on, it'll
it does weird shit.
Yeah,
it does weird shit. Yeah, it's just like that's why I turned that off. So anyway, you guys, as Andy says here, okay, this is absolutely close enough. You should be super proud, Jim. The rest is a little something that nobody wants to acknowledge. Practice, yes, you got to practice. I will say Jim kills playing Van Halen stuff. You were amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're fantastic. I'm just a poor facsimile. But I'm doing my best. But yeah, Jim, you kill it. You're a great player.
Thank you.
And yeah, definitely everybody should check out the software. I'm going to try to stop playing now, but I think everybody can hear that it really sounds great. So,
we have no more echo now.
Yeah, no echo. It sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just turned off my speakers and I just put earbuds in and I'm fine. Yeah, when you first put them in, it switched to the mic of the earbuds, and then that was weird. But now I'm back to the real mic, so should be fine.
Yeah,
Okay,
you sound the dulcet tones.
Now I'm back to the proper tone.
Jim, I love you, Mark and Dave too. Thanks, man. Thanks, Plexico. We appreciate it.
Very cool.
Boomer gave a super sticker. Thank you.
Thanks, Boomer.
And then Plexico again. Hey, Jim, what's your favorite FRFR cab to run this product through? And number 2, will it work through a traditional amp speaker? Thank you.
You know, Plexico, that's probably above my pay grade because, in all honesty, I'm super new to this whole amp modeling thing. It's not my thing. I have yet to play through the Tonex FRFR, and I've heard and seen wonderful reviews from that. But as far as the other brands that are supposed to be really good, I don't know. And I don't know how I would feel about playing through one. I think I want to try it, but I don't know what it would feel like on a stage. You know, I'm so used to playing a 4-call box on a stage.
I've heard the Tonex cabs are amazing. So
that's what I keep.
I don't know.
Well, I'm going to be getting one. I'm going to check it out, and I'll let you guys know. I have tried the pedal, the Tonex pedal, through a head rush, the small head rush. I think maybe it's not 12-inch speakers, maybe 10-inch speakers they have in the head rush, and it definitely needed some tweaking. That was before I did any tweaking in the pedal on the patch, and it was a bit more gainy than I probably would have expected, and bright, and I think that probably had something to do with the head rush speakers as well. It's not a very expensive FRFR, Dave. I mean, you have your own line of FRFR speakers.
I know,
you
yeah, but the ours are a little boomier and a little darker than that. But the Tonex one is, I mean, Pete Thorne said the Tonex one sounded really good. He was shocked how good it sounded. So I trust him. So
yeah, I certainly do too. I think
Yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
looking forward to playing one.
and for him to say that, he doesn't use FRFRs at all. So, and him like, that was great. So
Yeah,
I
would like,
I don't know.
I would like to try that live. You know, I made the in-ear transition thing a number of years ago, which was difficult enough. You know, you're so used to standing on the stage in certain areas where you got your sweet spot where you hear your speaker cabinets on. Now I'm too loud over here, so I want to hear a little more bass guitar for this part, or I want to hear the hi-hat. You know, you stand in different spots on the stage. With in-ears, you don't have to do that. So that's what I'm used to. I don't know what it would be like having an FRFR cabinet on playing live on stage compared to a 412 that's moving your arm hairs, you know. So
Donald Young, sounds awesome, Mark. Thanks. I appreciate it. And I think it sounds killer. It really does. It's so fun to play. I have to say I haven't plugged into an amp in a few days. Well, I was gone, but even when I came home, just even for a couple days, I plugged into it. I was like, and before I left on my cruise, I was playing it, and I was like, oh man, this really sounds great. So here, you can plug your headphones directly into your Tonex One, no amp or interface needed. I will tell you one thing that I ran into. I was texting Dave over the time when I was on my cruise. I had the pedal with me. That was the first one that I bought, Jim, that I told you that I ended up. And I brought it on my cruise. If you use that power supply that it comes with, and you just plug your headphones in and your guitar cable in there, you get a lot of static, and it doesn't sound grounded.
This is pretty normal. I mean, I even have problems with my IR pedals with that same thing. So does Line 6 with their stuff. So does it's kind of a normal thing.
Yeah, it was. So what you need, anybody who is watching, if you have the pedal or you end up getting the pedal and you want to use it with headphones, use it with a good power supply, like Dave's power supply.
Have you tried it since then?
Yes. Yeah, it's perfect.
Then it's fine, right? With the
yeah.
It has to do with the wall wart that's included with it.
good to know.
Yeah. Not sure why that is, but yeah, I'm not sure if that happens.
It's all junk. I mean, the wall warts and stuff, that a lot of them are just made like shit. So
yeah,
that's why
it comes free with the pedal. And
yeah.
So I wonder if that would clear up when I try to run multiple interfaces through the USB. I get, as soon as I plug in certain interfaces with each other, you know, because in a Mac you can build that aggregate interface, so you can stack multiple interfaces together. Like if you're looking for more ins or outs for your DAW, you can build that right in Apple. But when I connect too many USB cables, I get this. It's not a ground loop thing. It's probably the equivalent of a USB ground loop. I wonder if that's just crap power supplies.
Well, no, it's a USB ground loop.
Okay,
they do make USB isolators.
Really? Okay, I'll look into that.
That you can isolate USB. USB often, you know, even with my pedals, the same issue. Like, well, you know, certain computers or whatever, it'd be like,
yeah, it's just it's almost a whine or something. It's just obnoxious. It's obnoxious.
Yeah. Well, I've got everything running through the computer and everything right now with the pedal, and it's quiet. So there's not there's no noise, and it's pretty good. Right. So, Roger Dat, aloha Friday, gents, and thank you for the show. Dave, will the Jose be the brown sound cat's meow, or is it the Plex for your closet approximation? Closest.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna say both are great. So they're different things. I mean, the Jose thing that I came out with is literally like an amp with all his mods that I've ever seen and worked on in one amp, It gives you a lot of cool sounds. They sound great. The Plex is a killer 50-watt Plexi style Variact amp. It sounds really good.
I would say the Plex. If I would go with the Plex personally.
Well, it also depends on what kind of player you are, and I mean, some people can't play a Plex and make it sound like the Brown sound, even though it would be the Brown sound if someone that could actually play it. You know what I mean? Like if Jim played it, or Pete Thorne or something, you played it, you're like, yeah, that's it, and then some other guy will play it, and you're like, God, that sounds broken. I mean, like, that doesn't sound good at all. So the Jose might be a little more forgiving for a variety of players, and then you still sort of get that kind of sound, because that really, his mods were all about kind of capturing that cranked up Plexi sort of tone, and that was the whole basis to make the mods in the first place. Cat loves to sit in your lap.
That cat won't leave you alone, man.
She will not. She's only 8 months old, and
she loves you.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice. She's right here.
That's okay. We had a show whenever we were on with Bob Bradshaw that my cat, that has since passed away,
meowing.
He was like meowing around the house, like that she would do every once in a while, like meow, meow, and Bob heard it because Bob likes cats, and he's like, I hear a kitty. And I had to bring her up on the camera.
Yeah.
Right,
unfortunately, she passed, but
sorry to hear that.
She was like 21 years old.
Wow.
Fucking
that's a good
kidding
run.
me? She's a good run.
Wow, you had her a long time.
That is
that's crazy.
Not to be. I just lost my wingman, my Yorkie.
Oh, I know your dog, right?
You've been with me for a long time,
yeah.
buddy. But
sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Always
they get old. Eventually, they just like everyone, they get old and they pass away.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it sucks. That's the worst.
Yeah.
Purposeful Porpoise. Mark, can you ask Jim what he thinks of someone moving to Huntsville to pioneer a new budding music scene? Maybe me. Thanks.
I love Huntsville. I have a good time when I go to Huntsville. My wife and I, it's really close. It's a cute little downtown. They got some great venues. And they've got a pretty good music scene too. So I don't know. I'd say, yeah, go for it. I don't know where you're coming from. Unless that's Jeff. That could be Jeff. Could be. I don't know if he's purposeful porpoise, but he's already down there and he's just pulling my chain right now. So it could be.
Stan Mucha, Jim has amazing ears for dialing, and Toneyn is a great guy. Glad to call him a friend. Congrats on the success of the project. Yeah, I agree, Jim, and all of the Chris O'Hara and all you guys. It's a very successful product. I think it's really, really great. I mean, worldwide, great. So just videos all over the place.
Yeah,
it's great.
My question always is, how much longer can people be trying to capture this sound? Because all my fucking life, this has been going on.
I think this is really close.
And no, I agree. No, this sounds amazing, but I
don't think you have to do it.
Holy fuck, man!
You know what I'm going to say, Dave? This is the end of it. This is the be all.
That's it. The final, the end all be all, right?
Final frontier.
Yeah. Now, if it just had tubes in it,
I know.
Right? Yeah.
Everybody can come over and play. Well, I shouldn't even say that. But
don't say that.
You're gonna have a line at your house.
I'll sell you.
Oh yeah. So speaking of that,
10 minutes on the amp, $100. 10 minutes on the amp.
There we go. You can come over all day long. $100 for.
Try it.
15-minute try.
That's right.
15-minute try. Yeah, $100.
And don't piss me off because the big farm dog will come and get you.
Just plug it and shut up.
Black and white guitar. What body wood is that?
Northern Ash.
Okay.
It's supposed to be the proper spec, whatever the proper spec is supposed to be.
Who the fuck knows?
Right, exactly. So yeah, I try to do every detail as whether it's real or not, but the accepted details, I guess. Like I said, you listen to your ears, and you listen to your hands and the feel of what it does. And so much of how, like when I'm trying to dial in fair warning, and you've got the old MXR flanger on the floor. What is it? The M117 or whatever the model number is on that. The one with the power cord on it.
Oh,
what?
Go. I'm going to.
So in order to get that sweep, everybody says, oh, that flanger was post amplifier. They did it, they did it in post production. I use it as an EQ test. So if I'm dialing in the tone, because when you step on that flanger pedal, if you've got the tone dialed in, it sweeps just like what you hear on the record. But if you don't have the EQ of the guitar, the amplifier, everything in the signal chain right, you can't get it to sweep like that. It doesn't, it's not pronounced like that.
Yeah.
So much of it is just how it feels in your hands, what it does with your ears. The harmonic content is you're trying to get notes to pop with the harmonic taps or whatever. All of that falls into it. And when you've got all of that working, then you say, okay, I'm close. I'm really close to this. So that's how I do it.
Yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense. You had touched on maybe another interview I saw. The whole signal path.
Yep.
So the two non-true bypass pedals, actually you got something a little wrong on that, but
okay.
I'll correct you now.
The buffer thing.
Yeah,
I got corrected on it. So whether whether or not it's a buffer, I fully admit my mistakes, but whether or not
that's fine.
Whether or not it's a buffer or a non-true bypass, whatever.
Yeah, it's non-true bypass. It's just loading down the guitar in a certain way, and it's sort of like how a change in the pot value is happening. It's sort of like that. It loads down the pickup in a different way, so it rolls a little top end off, and it does a little something. And it's funny. Years ago, I had actually I still have it, like when I was a kid, I had an MXR Phase 45 pedal, which is like a Phase 90, just a little different sound.
I had one too.
Great sounding pedal. Love those.
90.
Love those. But I used to plug it into this certain amp I had, and the only way the amp sounded right to me is with this pedal in line. And there was something about the loading that happened, and I didn't know what it was when I was 16 years old exactly, but I knew I liked it, so I left it.
Yep.
And that's an important part, and you said the belt and cable.
Yep. And a lot of it.
Using which belt and cable?
Oh, I've got two of them. I've got the mic cable. I forget the model number on it, but it's
so the 84 or whatever, 8412 or something, and then the 9778.
Whatever the single conductor and the two conductors with a shield.
Single conductor was 9778. The multi-conductor was the 8412, I think.
Yeah, I think you're. I was going to say it's 8410 and 8412, but you might be right about the other one.
8412.
Yeah.
My favorite cable of all time is the 9778.
Yeah.
In fact, when we made Tone Talk cables, we made it out of 9778.
It's hard to find now. It's if you
got to buy a spool.
Yeah, and the spool is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were going to do another run of cables with Vinny. I know he's been a busy man, so I don't know when we'll ever get to that, if ever. Especially with tariffs, I don't know if that'll happen.
That cable's made here.
Oh, is it? All right, something
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah,
but the only place I've been able to find it is Japan.
Oh,
to order.
You can get the spools. You can order the spools.
Yeah, I can get the spool, but I didn't want a spool. I didn't want to pay $900 for a spool of wire. So I buy it by the meter out of Japan.
Yeah.
It's still ridiculous, but
it
makes a difference, right? That's the.
I agree that no. I mean, that went back years ago. I mean, I knew about that cable back in late 80s and early 90s when we did a bunch of cable testing and stuff, and that cable sounded the best for me. For a Marshall, for a distorted tone, it just had the right mid-range and the right kind of thing to it.
Yep. And that was Whirlwind, Rapco, all of those came with that belt and wire. But now it's
originally, yeah.
That was the good stuff, and that's that's what we all grew up on, and that was the cable of that era for sure.
Now, if you find a cable from back then, like an old cable, would it still be good?
It depends.
I mean, yeah, for the most part, it could still,
unless it's like,
beat up and everything. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Fred Petamonte, what's going on? Thanks for the super chat. So I decided to redo my rack because of this show. Oh man, I'm so sorry. And the two Michaels. Oh yeah, Michael Nielsen and Torin. New Soldano X88RI, two PCM 42s, TC1210, Lexicon PCM 70, ISP Decimator Pro Rack G, Lee Jackson SP1000. Opinions. Yeah, man. What are you missing?
No, man. I mean, that's good stuff. All of it's good stuff.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with anything you have in that list. I mean, surprisingly, the Jackson SP1000 power amp sounds really good, actually. It was so weird because if you look at that power amp, it's the most simple power amp ever made, very little parts, and it uses chips that were made for really hi-fi. So it was like stereo chips that were used in like a Technique stereo or something. They don't make them anymore, unfortunately, but I thought they sounded amazing for a little solid state power amp. It was killer. I have two.
They're hard to find. Yeah.
I have two of them. They're just sitting here.
Well, you going to save them for the show or sell them?
I got to sell them eventually because I'm not using them.
How is Dave's Choice amp coming along?
I'm getting there. Sorry, I've been really busy with. We're trying to do a lot of products and try to get them out. With all these tariff stuff that's going on and all this stuff. Believe me, it's a fucking shit show. It's a shit show of hell. So, we're trying to get product out, trying to keep afloat, try to, everything. This is not. I don't care what these aren't good things at all, and it's harming businesses everywhere. Like maybe to the point of people go, not us, but this, a lot of businesses going out of business because of this.
I mean, I saw Earthquaker had
it's no, man. It's just like you can't. So. What, you're going to bring all the factories back? There's going to be no companies left, actually. Hypothetically, if you could bring all, like businesses back into manufacture here, right?
It's going to be so expensive. You have to pay workers $60 an hour.
Well, no, I mean, like it can't be done. And it's people not an option.
And
this is not an option.
I'm sorry, but people in America are not going to want to sit in factories building an iPhone all fucking day. I don't see it happening.
Well, if you have like Ford broke down a transmission and all the parts that go in a transmission, and it's some insane amount of parts that go in a transmission. Well, almost every part comes from a different factory, right? So you don't make one factory that builds the whole transmission. No, it's like you got like gaskets and O-rings and screws and things. It's very complicated. It's like 500 parts that go in a transmission or something, right? So guess what, you're not building one factory to build transmissions, you're building 500 factories to build all the parts to build a transmission. And you're going to do this how? Because they don't exist here anymore. You're not going to buy an O-ring from a U.S. source anymore. You're not going to buy a gasket from a U.S. source anymore. They don't exist.
That, and it's going to take, even if it did, it would
take 40 years.
Take years. Yeah.
40.
Yep. Agreed.
And then you still have to have the workers to work in the factory.
Yep.
And at a reasonable price for people to be able to afford the product that are made here. This is not a viable option. It just can't.
And we'd like to welcome the tariff talk.
Yeah, welcome to tariff talk. But it hits home.
I know
it hits home.
I know. Yeah. I talk to small business owners every day, and it is hitting home for sure.
And these people are, and the fact of the matter is, a lot of them, well, they can't actually get a product made as well as, or whatever their product is. If it's baby mats that go on a table, they can't actually make it here because they can't find someone that does it as well.
Come on, guys, you're making me drink, for God's sakes. Let's go back to happier times, gentlemen. Come on.
Okay, all right.
Tariff talk.
Yeah. And thanks for joining us on this episode of Tariff Talk.
So when is the Dave's choice amp? That's just going to have to come down.
I don't know. Hang on. We're getting around there.
So it has to do with these tariffs, I understand.
Okay. All right. So let's move on. We've got other questions. Tris Math.
Hey, Tris, buddy. All right.
Wow, cool show, Dave and Mark. Jim, Tonex sounds incredible. Congrats. The great night for EVH TV. Rum and Coke for me, boys. Nice.
There you go, man.
So my neighbor got me this. He's probably not
know what it is.
I don't know what it. Well, you know what Macallan is, right?
I know what Macallan is, but the Earth thing's throwing me off.
It's I don't know. It's got like different flavor. I don't know. It's got a little bit more of a berry flavor to it.
I think they should call it a night on the moon, because if you drink enough of it, you won't have a night on Earth. It'll be a night on the moon. I don't know, something.
So he bought me that because he claimed that my pool pump was shaking his house, and that it was making noise inside his house, and that so he offered to buy. He said he'll buy me a brand new pump, since it's, because my pump's working and everything's fine. I'm just like, I don't understand why. How is it making noise in your house? I don't even hear it in my house. Like, what? I don't understand. But anyway, long story short, I looked into it. I ended up getting this variable speed pump that ends up it's a lot less noise and this whole thing. And so for doing that, he ended up buying me the scotch as a thank you. And I didn't make him pay for it. Of course, I'm not going to make my neighbor pay for my product. So I think he just he wanted to diffuse the situation and be a nice guy. So
sweet.
So thanks to Sergio on the alcohol there. All right. So what else we got? We got other questions. Jay Smore Music, to get the right feel when making the captures, how did you set the initial reamp level before it hit the gear? Did you do any specific calibration?
The trick was I reversed a DI, a direct box. So I took a send out of the console behind me, and I turned a direct box around and set it at a -20 and sent it into the amp, and then adjusted to taste how hard it was hitting the amp. So when the guitar matched both sides of it, if I could play the guitar through the console, my real guitar through the console, and listen to the amplifier, and then plug the guitar straight into the amplifier, if I had the same amount of input, push, hiss, everything, it wasn't scientific, but that was about as scientific as I could get, because there's no really good way to do that, and there's no industry standard of how you really set that up. Of course, you can run the signal through your cat, but
yeah, a quarter-inch cable,
because she's always here. Yeah, right. quarter-inch cable, right?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not more scientific than that, but it's not. It's again, that's one of the hard parts, and I didn't want to add extra gain that way because that would have. And so I was very, very careful about it, and I know the amplifier very well. So it's
The cat's stubborn.
she just won't leave me alone.
Bill L. Dave, do you know of any 4 cable method junction boxes with a built-in ISO transformer?
I'd have to make it custom.
Hmm.
Doesn't exist.
Okay.
Probably should, but it doesn't yet. Yet.
Guido Day.
I think you missed one, though, Mark.
Who did I miss?
Hang on. There was one. There's one from Plexico. You did J F, but yeah, you missed one from Plexico. It was before J.
This one?
Nope.
This one?
Nope.
I don't see it.
6:34 p.m. Right in the star. Yep.
Okay. Dave, has EVH approached you about an amp based on tonight's topic? If not, an approximate amp offering you make? Just most curious. Thank you. And Jim, I love you more now. And you too, Mark. Thank you.
Well, I mean, the Plex amp does that pretty well. Although that is a copy of my 50-watt Plexi, and which I think does that sound pretty well. But I am going to do a 100-watt Plex, and the 100-watt Plex has all the little bells and whistles and voltages and everything that's exactly sort of the Ed sort of thing. So that's coming. So maybe that.
When's that coming?
I don't know when that's coming. Please don't answer us these questions.
Welcome to Tariff Talk.
Well, I mean, if I don't ask it, someone else is going to ask it. You know that.
Well,
so.
Okay. When is that coming? Okay. So I already did one prototype. It was like pretty spot on, but I had to tweak the transformer a little bit. I have the transformer sitting here. I have the circuit board sitting here. I don't have the chassis sitting here yet, Tim. It was supposed to be here this week. So I got to make a prototype, and then we got to decide how we're going to release it. I mean, I don't anticipate selling that many 100-watt Plexis, but you never know.
Yeah, that market's
We
getting
sold a lot of the 50-watt Plexis.
I've got one right there.
Yeah, a lot of those.
That's a prototype.
Yeah.
That's the second prototype. I love it. Sounds fantastic. So the 100 will come out. Okay, cool. And then we can
eventually.
Then we can pull 2 tubes out of it.
That's right.
Yeah, you can. Maybe I should put a switch on it that just takes the 2 tubes out.
Yeah, so you don't burn your hands.
Can you do drop the voltage below 90? Can you do like a 90 and then like a 70?
Well, not on the amp, no, but yeah.
No.
I mean, yeah, you'd have to no.
Okay. 78.
Yeah, you don't want to. What do you believe in the whole cathode stripping thing?
No.
I don't either. It's
not at all. I've never had an issue ever. And I ran my original 50-watt Plexi that you can't see, but it's over here. I ran on a Varia for a million years. It originally had Telefunk and EL34s in it, which, by the way, were Ed's favorite EL34s.
I read that.
He told me so.
Yeah.
Until he couldn't get them or whatever. And
right.
And it had those in it for I don't know. I don't think I replaced the tubes in that amp till like 2000. And I got it in like, say, I don't even know how long the tubes were in the amp, but I got it in around 1990 and for $300.
Those were the good days. Those were the wonderful days.
And
jobs.
So I mean they lasted forever. I just ran those. I ran it in Variac all the time, and it just lasted till the tubes finally croaked.
Yeah.
But
I get that all the time. You know, these guys will hit me on the forums or on the videos and all that stuff. You're gonna cathode strip. You can't run the Variac that low. The amp won't even run that way. It's like, dude, I've been doing it for 40 years.
Yeah.
yeah.
Everybody's an expert.
Oh, I know. The only tube failure I've ever had is usually from vibration, and when they fail catastrophically. It's not.
Yeah.
You know, and then also, if you're running the amp dimed all the time, you're going to wear tubes out fast that way too.
Yeah, sure.
So
absolutely.
I'm glad to hear you say that. I figured you would, because I've never seen it either.
I've never seen it.
No.
Yeah, it's vaporware.
Yeah,
it's like not a thing.
Okay, we asked that question. Okay, we did that one. We did that. Okay. I second the Plex. Super cool cleans. Thank you, Son of Pyro, by the way. Super cool cleans to warmness. Johnny Ramone live tone to brown sound, especially through a 70s cab. It's a gem of an amp. This is a great episode, gents. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I agree. The Plex is fantastic.
And you have an orange one, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Who has an orange one? Oh, he has an orange
there
one?
in his picture.
Well, he does, and I do.
Oh, that's right.
And that's why I asked you about the fawn one over your shoulder. It looks orange with the lighting that you got, but it's a fawn amp. So I thought,
yeah, it's a fawn. Well, a fawn, yeah.
Oh, you have an orange one too? You have a fawn one?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I've got fawn cabinets. I no longer have a fawn top, but my main head is an orange one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I like orange.
Yeah, they're cool.
I just got the Loud book.
You got the book?
Yeah. Have you gotten that book, Jim?
No, but I just got this one. He just sent it to me.
Oh, Tone Chaser.
Of course he did.
I'm looking forward to reading it.
Of course he did.
I kept telling my girls that they said, I want a Christmas present. Quit buying me whiskey and guitar strings. Use your imagination. Buy me a Van Halen book, for God's sake. So,
you know
I
what?
haven't read it. I'm anxious to read it.
Yeah, it's interesting, but go, honestly, do the audiobook.
Get the audiobook.
Yeah.
Because the audiobook, all in the actual hardcover book, he's, you're reading both sides of what Ed was saying and what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
But in the audiobook, he actually puts the recordings of Ed.
I think I've heard some of those. There's been some on YouTube.
And they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Playing the guitar just acoustically, right? The electric guitar.
Yes, but I mean, like, not just that. I mean, you have him talking about the albums and in his own voice, so you're not reading it, because he said when he did it, when he did start doing the audiobook, he realized, he goes, this is going to be weird reading both sides, so he just decided to put the actual audio of stuff in it, and that is priceless. It's really good.
I got to sit down. Like I said, I haven't read it. I never bought it. I was waiting for it as a gift from my daughters, and they, strings.
Yeah, they don't know what to get.
I'm happy to get it. Super happy. I'm anxious to read it.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Harmonic jump, man. They come off. They just jump off the guitar.
It does. That sounds great, man. Sounds killer. Right. Let's go back to the comments. Yes, Mark, you missed my last super chat. Any chance you can scroll up? Oh, I'm sorry you had to pay for that, Plexico. Thank you, though.
Because we got it, didn't we?
I think
we did.
We
did.
Yeah.
Yes to the 100 watt.
Well, there you go. There's one buyer.
Josh, I know a lot of guys that would buy that. I get asked constantly about that. I don't know what they do with it. I mean, you have to, as you know, unless you've got a great master volume in that, or you're going to do the IR thing or something.
You have to use like a Fryette power station or something, or something that'll do it, or the new the 2 notes the reload 2.
Yeah, I keep hearing great things about that. That's the one I haven't tried.
It's really, Pete and I really kind of went through it, like crazy, and I told him, I go, it's fucking, because I got to play his first before he even did. He's like, can I take it out of the box and check it out? and I'm like, man, it's really transparent. And I did it in a scientific way where I could really switch and hear it.
Right.
It's like really transparent. And later he did testing at his room. He's like, yeah, it's really transparent. Jesus Christ. He recorded clips with it and stuff. And it's like, it's really good. Yeah. As long as you set the presence and depth like really low. Yeah. It's like really transparent.
Check it out. I keep hearing great things about that.
It's really good. It's fun because you can add effects and stuff. It's fucking fun, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Joshua Kraft, that Tonex Brown sound sounds awesome. Jim, saving up for the pedal. I'm super excited about it since I have to play with in-ear monitors on a silent stage. Well, it'll sound great. I'm using headphones right now, and it just sounds great.
Yeah.
It sounds killer. Let's see. I think we got all the super chats for right now. Let's jump into the regular questions.
No, there's more you missed.
What did I miss?
There's
oh wait, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wait. Who did I miss? Sorry.
Above Plexico, about the 9778 cable.
There you go. I had it before and I clicked off of it. Guido Day, what's going on?
I've wired all sorts of stuff with this. So
Okay.
I mean, yes, I used to years ago wire all the pedal boards and stuff with it. It's kind of a pain in the ass to do that, but yes, I kind of like it for everything.
Yeah, everything. That's my opinion too.
It's a pain in the butt a little bit to strip and solder, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that's what Vinny was saying. It's a pain in the butt.
Old switch.
Oh, it's a pain in the butt.
Switchcraft connectors, the real ones, the old ones, and Belden wire. I mean, to me, that's great. I'm not a big fan of the Neutrik, but that's,
you know, technically the Neutrik's made better because the tip to the solder point of the tip inside is one piece. So technically it's better.
Instead of that riveted thing.
Yeah.
Switchcraft, yeah.
But hey, maybe the rivet makes the sound. You know, who knows?
Could be. We'll do a show about that next.
Here's the 9778 cable with Switchcraft, and here's the 9778 cable with Neutrik.
That's my next idea. Son of
it's a video. That is a video.
That could be.
Hey, let's also talk about for the 79 tones, you added the Schaefer wireless.
Yeah, big controversy there. I mean, there's the Rudy interview where I absolutely never used the Vega.
Be right back.
And then I got slagged on the some guy reached out to me about the Out of Love intro. You know, so you've got that springy noise, that springy, and you got all that hiss, and you got the flanger in the background. I didn't mention that there's a flanger, because I thought that was obvious. But that springy noise, I watched him do it live in '79, standing in front of the cabinet, coaxing feedback out of it and hitting the transmitter on the Schaefer pack. Now, whether or not that happened in the studio, it's enough. And he said things in interviews about how he loved the two different wirelesses for each different things, that the Schaefer had the boost knob on it, the compression and the boost. And for the Nady wireless, he was reaching for like 12 or 15 on the volume knob on the guitar, and the other one with the boost control, which was the Schaefer, he only had to reach for like 11 on the knob. You know, that's how it felt like to him. So we included it just because it does something to the sound. That's that companding circuit that they had. It's that fixed 2-to-1 companding circuit, and it's unique. And when I play it, and I used it on the rabbit hole, the first rabbit hole video that I did when I was playing the Van Halen 2 stuff, I used the Schaefer patch, the low gain Schaefer patch. So I like it. I like what it does for the sound. It makes you be able to play cleaner. And that's what Ed was always saying. I want to have that big clean sound so that the Vega kind of does that for you. It has that compression, but you can duplicate it with the old Dynacomp. It's the same kind of circuit.
Interesting. What about the new one that they came out with, the that pedal that?
That to me, that has the boost circuit, but it misses the whole compression circuit. It doesn't have that companding circuit. So to me, the what's his name, Phil?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a boost pedal. I mean, it's a unique, it's kind of a cool sounding boost pedal, but it doesn't do what the actual wireless did.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Hey, we got Simon Hosford here.
Hey, Simon.
Hey, Simon.
What's going on? Currently on tour and up in Sydney. Looking forward to getting back next week. You all good? Oh, I see. He's traveling, so I know he's going to be with Tonex. He'd probably try that out too, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're trying to get him to do a video for us, and I know he's busy, so I think he affectionately calls me legend, I think. So I think he was referring to that. But hey, Simon, good to see you, man. Get to it when you can.
Yes. Let's see what else. We got Alan Garber in the house here.
Hey.
Yeah. What's up, Alan? Let me see if we have any other questions here. Yep, we do.
I'm surprised we haven't had Chris O'Hara chime in here.
Here's Simon. You've outdone yourself with this, Jim. Can't wait to dive deep in it when I get back to the studio in Melbourne and do some videos. There we go.
Looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah. It'll be better playing than mine, that's for sure. Hey, I could slag myself. But nobody else better. That's all. So, Fred Petamonte, I still have around 75 new old stop US tubes. I managed 4 music stores in Connecticut. Wow, I'm coming over, man. I was
give me your address. I'll be right there.
I was just in Connecticut. I'll come back. RCA Sylvania, also Mullards. Wow, 12AX7s, AT7s, 606s, the whole crew. Planning on reverb? No. If they work.
I don't know, man. Yeah,
I'd love to have just a few.
I have so much problems with people like NOS tubes. Okay, they could potentially be great. They could also potentially be shit.
Yeah.
And true. Not usable in your amp because of microphonics or something like this. So you could spend $125, $150 on a preamp tube, and it's useless to you. Because where you kind of want it is the first slot. A lot of times they're microphonic, and it's just spending that money. I don't know. I mean, I understand that some can be cool, and I have a stash of some that are cool. You can put them in certain spots and stuff, but like on a regular basis, if you're trying to do this, it just seems impossible. It's. I mean, you can find new things that sound like old things, kind of. I mean, you can get really close. I mean,
and then you can dial it in with the EQ, right? So,
I'm just like,
it's a little bit. It's cork sniffing to a certain extent. I mean, you get some really great stuff, but yes, there's so many. The way I look at it is, there's so many different things. Like we were talking, the cable, the pedals that you're running through. All of it has something to do with the tone, the ultimate tone.
Sure.
So the speakers, the pickup, those are probably the most important parts.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of JJs. Are you still using the JJs?
JJ power tubes or
the preamp tubes?
I only use a JJ in the very first slot.
Yeah.
I mostly use like Shugong Chinese and stuff because I think those sound cool for Marshalls.
I do too. I agree.
But that recipe of like just one in the first slot can kind of work. But I have to do that because there's no freaking way you can do production and have pick your favorite what am I going to pick through 100 Shugong tubes to find the
Right.
4 unmicrophonic ones?
Right.
I mean, you can't do that.
It's,
You can't do that with your production. It's impossible.
I can't.
well,
So
it's hard for the individual amp owner too, because you got to order up. I've got a bucket full, like you've got a bucket full of these tubes.
Mhm.
Some are old, some are new, and you just find the good. You roll tubes and you find the good one, but it's
Mhm.
not everybody can do that.
yeah, so I found a recipe that seems to work, and it works pretty well. So
All right,
and if you get the amp, you can fuck with it all you want.
Yeah.
So you can
But
put
forget your warranty.
you can buy your $100 and $200 preamp tubes and hope for the best all day long.
Yep. Coxie 5150. Is there a line isolator you gents would recommend? Pinstripe, Goodwood, KMA, wanting 2 balanced outs that can be mono summed.
Yeah, I mean mono summed. There's a Radial just came out with a new line isolator. I forgot which one it is. The Canvas Audio, I don't know if they have a summing feature. Canvas has one. Pinstripe has one. Goodwood has one also. Yes. I don't know KMA. So, I mean, the summing. Why do you want to sum it? It kind of gets weird if you're summing a stereo source into a mono output. It gets a little weird.
Plexico. All right, so that was the next thing I wanted to ask you. So what's coming next, my friend?
We're
Every album tone.
The 6-pack. You got the 6-pack, basically.
Yeah. So women and children first, fair warning coming next. And not far behind is going to be Diver Down in 1984. So
what? No 5150?
They're pushing. We're trying to get the collection out in weeks, not months. So I'll just leave it at that. We're, like I mentioned earlier, we're testing this new the AI rendering of it. We're testing a new system that would hopefully reduce some of my workload, but we'll see how that works out. We're still in that phase. I've already come up with some really great sounds for women and children first. And I'm
Cool.
pretty sure I know what I'm going to do on fair warning too. So it's just a matter of getting them captured and done and tested.
That's awesome.
Weeks, not months.
Killer. Well, that sounds like another part 3 with Jim Gaustad. That's awesome. Looking forward to it. Let's announce the winners.
Cool.
All
right. So again, let me go over what you guys are winning here. Okay. And just to clarify how the contest was held on Instagram and on Facebook. It was our social media. If you tagged somebody, and then we randomly picked somebody through a random generator. Dina worked on it, Dave's wife, and provided us with the winners. Okay. So the way it works is the top grand prize winner will get the Tonex pedal along with the 7879 Brown Sound collection and the Sound City plate reverb collection. What's that?
Sunset Sound.
I'm sorry, Sunset Sound. Did I say Sound City?
Studio. Sound City. Yeah, I was thinking that brought me back to an amp I used to own.
Okay. Sunset Sound. Yeah, Sunset Sound. Wasn't Sound City an amp? I mean, a studio also?
Yes.
Yes, it was. All right. Sorry.
That's
Sunset
famous studio out here.
Yeah, Sunset Sound plate reverb. So you get 3 things. Okay. We will send you the code. And again, you must live in the United States. If you don't live in the United States for winning this grand prize, that's a problem because of the shipping of the pedal. So I hope that will work out, that the winner is in the United States. That was part of the rules in the posts. Okay. So, and then the runner-up people will win just the software, which is the 7879 Brown Sound collection. You will win that And the way that you will win is you will contact me, send an email to me at tonetalkmark.com. Excuse me, tonetalkmark@gmail.com. All right. Tonetalkmark@gmail.com. What's that?
I'm kidding. I said I'm confused now. Is it?
No. All you got to do is just email me if you win,
Geez.
and I will give you the code, and they will mail you the pedal. You have to send me your address, obviously. Okay. So the grand prize winner is Alex Clockman. Okay.
Yay.
Alex Clockman. His Instagram is AlexClockman_guitar. All right, Alex. And then the others. Congratulations, Alex. And then the others. So the runner-ups are Annie Antaya, a Facebook winner, Kyle Lalo, and Oscar Razzo. Okay, so you guys win the 7879 Brown Sound software package. Please email me at tonetalkmark@gmail.com, and I will get you the code for you to log in and get the software package. And then Alex, for the grand prize, you need to email me, send me your address so I can go ahead and get the pedal mailed out to you. Okay.
And again, that's Tone. Spell it out exactly for them.
Tone, TONE, talk, TALK, Mark, MARC, @gmail.com.
There you go.
All right.
Okay.
Congratulations, everybody.
Yep. Awesome.
All right. So, were you testing if I was going to fuck that up, Dave?
No, I was just making sure that people, they'll try to Tone Talk Mark with a K, and then they'll do.
Oh, yes. It's MARC. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Probably would have been good to have it on the screen, but
I could do that.
Hey, we're just winging it, right? That's it. We're winging it.
I can do that. I can create a banner. Here we go. Tone Talk Mark @gmail.com. Scroll across the bottom.
bam, there you go.
Yeah, look at that's high test right there.
Oh yeah. That's the furthest of my IT technology I can do right there.
I love doing this show. You guys are high tech. This is cool. This is good stuff right there. That and we drink.
So make sure you email me. So yes, exactly. We got to drink. Yeah, I really can't thank Jim and IK Multimedia, Chris O'Hara, Tonex. You guys, thank you so much for sponsoring the show tonight, giving out giveaways, and just being super cool and coming out with obviously an amazing sounding product. I mean, even for Dave to be talking about it, I mean, who is a purist.
I was going to say I was a little afraid to come on tonight to see how Dave was going to.
I mean, Dave's the purist.
Look, you have a product that's captured this stuff, and that's fantastic. And it is sort of it's a direct solution that works for that tone. Maybe down the road you might have some minus the cab part and be able to use it in other things. But man, you still needed that original stuff to even make this stuff.
Absolutely.
You needed this exhausting amount of hours to even make this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, the real thing is cool,
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Hey, but look, so many people can't afford the real thing. So many people will never even come close to, doing the exact stuff. And this is a fantastic, product for people that, they just don't have the money. They don't have the money for the kind of stuff that we have, just
exactly
doesn't exist. I love the old amps, I got amps everywhere. Jesus Christ, there's so many amps in here right now. I mean, there's more. There's 5 amps to the left, to my left over here that you can't even see. That
I see old
repairs and things.
Are there old Fenders behind you on the other side of you?
There is.
Are those Fenders back there?
Those look like Selmers or something.
No.
Just case.
No, those are some cases back there.
Oh, okay.
It almost looked like an old Selmer.
But, I
Right,
mean,
yeah.
There's amps everywhere. I have a metal badge Marshall here too right now.
Very cool.
Belongs to Peter
Wow.
Margolis.
Very
Oh,
cool.
Peter Margolis's.
Yeah.
That book is
You
so
need
good.
you need the loud Jim. You need the loud book.
Yeah,
Yes.
I actually used to have it. I can't find it. It's packed away in some case.
No, it just came out.
No, it just came out.
What's the one that was the it's the amp book, wasn't it? Or-
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's called Collecting Loud History.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh
all.
my God, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I would grab it, but
You
it's
gotta
in the
have
other
it.
room. Yeah,
I was thinking of that old, was it Doyle? The old Doyle book with the.
Oh yeah. The Marshalls.
That was a great book. But yeah, okay, I'll check it out.
The Collecting Loud History is amazing. Like it's amp porn. Basically, that's what it is. It's amp porn. You're just like looking through. You're like, ooh, look at that orange one.
Like my wife.
Oh, there's a yellow one. Wow.
God, yeah. My wife walks in the studio and she goes, "Oh, for really? Again? We're doing this? Something all torn apart, you know? Really?" Yeah. So that's all it is, more amp books. She really will look at it as amp porn for me.
it is amp porn. It really is. Plexico, you've been very, very kind to us tonight. Yes, the Kiss captures.
No, that's not on my horizon at this point. No. As much as I love Kiss.
I mean, those tones are a classic.
They're pretty easy to get, though. Pretty easy. Not a lot of mystery with those.
No.
Every knob on 5.
Fred Petamonte, thanks for the super chat. Jim, watched every video you've done. Mind blowing.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And how good is that to know that Matt Bruck loves you? I mean, hey,
I think that's, I think that's
cool.
It's good.
I mean, I didn't get that. Fuck.
It's good to know that they don't hate me. That's a good thing. It's good to know that they're aware of me. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's humbling.
Yep. Okay, so everybody, make sure you check out. I mean, do you want to stay on for longer? I'm willing to.
No, we're good. I got it.
We're
This
good.
cat is driving me nuts. Wants to get out now, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that. So,
Okay.
I hate to call it short because of a cat, but we're 2 hours.
No, we're 2 hours in.
We're past 2 hours. Yeah.
Yep. Hey, Jerry Cherry, what's going on? Jerry uses your IRX live all the time, Dave. I
Awesome, man. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we talked before. Yeah.
You know, Jerry. Let me take off that banner there and put again the winners. Make sure you contact me at tonetalkmark@gmail.com. And again, just so I'll say it right before we leave, okay? Grand prize, Alex Clockman. And then the other runner-ups, Annie Antaya, Facebook winner, Kyle Laulo, and Oscar Razzo. Please reach out to me this email, okay? And you guys can claim your prizes. And
Awesome.
I'm happy to do it. I really look forward. It's great to hear from you guys, and I want to hear from the people who get the prize what you thought of the products.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, post everything. I read it all when I can. I want to get all the feedback I can get. I think it's great.
All right.
You get the one guy goes, sounds nothing like the real thing.
Well, I know they're not all great. Let's say they're not all great, but the overwhelming majority have been great. So it's
Yeah.
It sounds pretty good. All right. Well, hey, wrong patch.
But it sounds right.
Yeah, it's. And I know the shake isn't supposed to be there. I'm sorry.
I know. I go on the shakers. The guys that shake the chord, I always say, tune the guitar properly. Don't shake the chord.
I think it's pretty That's pretty close.
A little hair flatter on the beat, and you're right there. Then you can get that perfect third fly.
You see, his ear's better than mine. You think? That's why he's doing this. That's why he's doing
it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, all right, Jim, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. And
yep.
So does the Sprite here. She's right here, just driving me nuts still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even Mark can make it sound awesome. Let's.
Thanks. I think. I don't know.
I don't even know. Hey.
I don't know about that, Mark. But not that you can't. I'm just saying I don't know about the comment. So
I'll whatever.
Yeah,
I'm used to it. That's
welcome
fine.
to my world.
Yeah, I know. You try to play Van Halen, everybody's a freaking critic. That is just
That's right.
that is just the way it is.
And
Van
everybody-
Halen is a hard thing to play right.
Yeah, it is. It
Even
is.
for the best of players, most people don't get the timing right.
Right.
Yeah.
Timing, right hand, all that stuff. It's huge.
It's
No
massive.
doubt. It's a challenge. It took me years just to even think about playing Van Halen stuff. So, but all
There you go.
right. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Check out the product. Everybody. Oh, next guest that we're having, Richie Kotzen,
Ooh, cool.
and
Yeah.
then Philip Sayce is coming on.
Very cool there too.
Yep.
Yeah,
Looking
ripping
forward-
players,
Yeah.
both of them.
Those are going to be coming up. I think Richie's on the 13th and Philip Sayce is on the 20th of June.
I do believe that's correct.
Yep, I believe that's correct too. Okay. All right, hang on, Jim, while we say goodbye. Everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you hit subscribe. Okay.
Please.
Thank you.
All right.